Hi, Karen. I'm so happy to see you. I missed you over the past 2 weeks.
Katie, it is always wonderful to see you. Happy August 8th.
Happy August 8th. And yeah, listeners, we're recording this a few days earlier than we usually do. I don't know. What's 8 times? What's going to be next
Oh, wait. So
Monday?
it'll be, the 15th. So
15th. Yes.
today is the 8th. Listeners, for you, it is August 15th.
It is
Yes.
August 15th, mid-August. It is blazing hot in Bend right now. Don't really mind. It's 90 something degrees. I'm going to see Jim Gaffigan, the comedian, tonight. That should be
Oh.
fun. Yeah, things are okay.
Inside or outside?
Well, it is outside actually. It's not that okay. It's gonna be like 92.
Oh, shit.
I know. Drinking a lot of water. No shade also. But yeah, we'll have hats. So, just sweaty and laughing. That's what we're gonna be doing.
I mean, it's wholesome family entertainment. I do really like him.
Yeah.
So my sweaty outside, though it was actually very, very sweaty now that I think about it. I saw over the weekend, I saw Ani DeFranco and Brandy Carlisle.
Oh, damn. Oh my God. I heard that concert was epic
Oh my
from
God,
Brandy Carlisle's
Katie.
Instagram. Oh my God. Tell me. How was it?
So I went to see Ani because I've been listening to Ani DeFranco for like literally 30 years.
Yeah.
Like all through college, all of the things. Like I've just listened to her forever. I've seen her live a million times. And I went with Tori, Emily, and Betsy. And Tori and Emily are also like longtime Ani stans. And so I went like low key, not knowing anything about Brandy Carlisle other than the fact that like people are obsessed with her. And I walked out of there like, no, I love her.
Really?
Like,
I've
yeah,
heard
no,
she's unbelievable live.
no, just what a like unbelievable live. The band is super solid. She's been playing, these twins are her part of her band.
Oh,
She's known them forever. And it was just a wonderful experience and such a good show. And they brought Ani back and they sang 32 Flavors, which is one of my favorite songs. And it
oh,
was really, it was a wonderful time. But yes, it was outside and we were all just like sitting in on the worst, that venue, Northerly Island in Chicago, has the most uncomfortable plastic chairs in the universe.
oh,
Awful.
oh God. And they're just so sweaty and it's
And
just,
just a pool of your own sweat.
oh, and then your
Yep.
legs stick to them. And I mean, those things take off a layer of skin, I swear to God. Like, that's the worst feeling when you don't realize that your leg is sticking to something and then you rip it off and then it's like,
Ugh.
didn't need that skin, didn't need it, but it didn't actually rip off the skin. Yeah, no, people get it. They're like, stop talking, take it easy. Like that's we get the visual. It happened a minute ago. Yeah, it happens constantly in the summer. Oh my God, that sounds like such a great concert though. I'm so glad you had fun. It was just epic.
It was just wonderful. And they had a woman open for them named Celise, who's like a Black woman. I'd never seen her before either. She's a Black woman guitarist. It was just fucking incredible.
Wow.
It was one of those things where like I didn't, and she's not on any of the material. So we had no idea she was going to be there. So I like basically made everyone sprint to our seats because I thought Ani was starting at 6:30.
Yeah.
And instead it was this woman Celise playing. And it was one of those things where like people didn't know her, so they were kind of talking over her. And at a certain point, she just did this guitar solo that literally you could hear the entire crowd stop talking. Whoa. And just be like, holy shit. Like, and just like all just stare at the stage. It was fantastic.
Oh my God, that's so amazing. That's like one of those moments where you're going to say, like, I remember when I was at this concert, and then she's going to turn into Beyonce or like someone major. It's like she's going to be the headliner at something within like 2 years.
Oh my God. I think you're right.
Oh my gosh, Karen, I love that so much. That's amazing. It reminds me of a friend of mine who back in like, oh God, it would have been like mid 90s, they went to some concert in San Francisco and Norah Jones opened, and she was only like, she was maybe 17 or something like that. She was super, super young and no one knew who she was. Like she had never toured, nothing. And the friend of mine, this is a long time ago, they were telling me how, I think they were in college and they went, it was maybe early 90s anyway. And so, and they were like, oh yeah, everyone gets there late, of course, because they're not, this isn't the headliner. And then everyone's like eating and whatever, snacking and chatting, and then Norah Jones gets on stage and they're like, what? Like, it just like one of those, like it's like one of those moments that you're like, oh, this person's gonna be huge.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it
You
was
also
a
saw Nora Jones recently, didn't you? Yeah.
I did at that same venue. So because I'm in love with Emily King, so Emily King opened for Nora Jones. Yes, like good memory. Maybe like a month ago.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
awesome. I love that you're seeing so many great people. It's like such a normal sounding summer.
I know I really do have to thank Emily for this because she loves live music. And I've seen so many, all of the shows, I think so far, all of the shows I've seen have been with her because she's just like, no, I'm just getting us tickets.
That's so
Um,
great.
yeah. So coming up, what do I have? I have Sting, Erica Badu, and I might try to sneak and go see Stevie Nicks.
Hell yeah. Oh, I'm so happy for you and jealous because Ben just doesn't have the axe. Like, I mean, there's a few. I went to a Black Crowes concert a couple weeks ago and that was actually fun, but it was like there just aren't as many. That's so awesome to be in Chicago. I mean, like everybody passes through. They have to. Like it's a mandatory thing. It's like one of the biggest cities. That's so cool.
Exactly. Where is your closest where's the closest place where big acts come for you?
I mean, they come into downtown Bend, but by big acts, it's like 3,000 people max. Like that's like as big as the
Mm,
place is. It's a really nice venue. It's a really beautiful amphitheater. But then the big acts will come to Portland, and that's 4 hours away. So it's like, I mean, everybody goes to Portland, and a few people will go to Eugene, which is where the University of Oregon is, and that's 3 hours away. But still, that's like, it makes me feel like I'm in the sticks, which I kind of am. But yeah, it's just what it is. It's okay. So, anyway, but I love our topic today, Karen. Just diving right in since today's sort of a mini pod. Um, yeah, it's kind of heavy. I mean,
it's a little dark. Though I feel like in the spirit of the seamless segue, I feel like live music and seeing live music is something that is a through line for me of pre-pandemic Karen and now. Like I
yes,
loved it so much before and loving it, enjoying it so much now is like, oh right, this is a core part of who I am. Oh yeah.
yes. Oh my gosh, connecting with a core part of who you are, that's such a beautiful thing to think about and to like acknowledge and realize. And like also I bet you like when you're at the concert, I'm sure that you feel that connection with who you actually are.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Absolutely. Like belting out lyrics, like singing every syllable to every Ani song. I was just like, right. Like songs I haven't heard. I've been listening to her so long that songs I haven't heard in 25 years, I still know it's all still in my brain. Every
Totally.
syllable is still in my brain.
Totally, totally. Oh my God, I love that so much. Isn't that so fun when you really haven't heard this? It's like, it's just, how is that possible? It's like muscle memory. It's also like jingles on the radio every once in a while. I'll be like, oh, I know what that is. Or I'll go back to my hometown and I'll be like, I haven't heard that in 20 years. And then it's just there. It's just, yeah, it's also comforting.
Wait, oh my God, this reminds me. How are the singing lessons going?
Oh my God, that's right. I've only had that one because I was off last week. And so I'm going to my next one tomorrow. So I'll definitely keep you posted. I might have two by the time we're talking next time. So I think I'm going to be actually singing and not doing diaphragmatic breathing and weightlifting with my diaphragm, which is what I did last time, which was unique and interesting and cool, I guess. But yeah, I do really think that that would be so wonderful to like just start singing more in general, even if it's just in my car from these singing lessons and like feel good about it. Yeah, I mean, part of I know what we talked about before we hit record was just like how it's hard to feel like how do you get yourself back? How do you feel like when you feel like you've lost yourself, how do you regain yourself? And I think for me, I mean, I haven't really talked about this on the pod that much, but like, I had COVID. That's why we didn't have, recordings in part of June. And it's been rough, Karen. Like it really has.
Mm.
Like I'm okay, like in terms of physically. Like it took me a solid 2.5 weeks to be okay. But emotionally, mentally, it's the weirdest thing. It's not even that like I can't really describe it. And I wonder if others feel the same, but it's like, it's not like I'm depressed at like the state of the world. It's like it's actually like in my body. Like I feel this like
Mm.
slump. And we're in the best season of the year. We're like, and I'm not just trying to focus on the negative. Truly, like I had a wonderful time with my family last weekend or last week when I was in Michigan, and there's good things happening in my life, but I'm just like I'm not experiencing them fully, I guess. Or there's like a level of just like dullness that isn't like I'm not getting excited like I usually do. Like I'm just feeling like, huh. Like it's not this feeling of like full on really like critical depression where, it's scary type stuff, nothing like that, not even close, but like it's noticeable. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Oh my gosh. Oh, Katie, I hate to hear you going through it. You're like one of the most vibrant, like alive people in my life. And it's just like,
Thanks.
fuck you, COVID.
Fuck
Fuck
you,
you.
COVID. Yes,
Fuck you,
exactly.
COVID.
And I actually I wasn't even gonna bring this up today, even like to you outside of the pod, because I was like, I don't want to be negative, but then I'm like, fuck this. Like this is just life, you know? Like it's just, and I think so many people are going through it, and it's like COVID depression has got to be a real thing. And I don't want anyone to feel alone like I was feeling alone. And I feel like that's the point of this pod, is to like know that whatever you're going through, even if you're having a great day, great. Like you're not alone in that either. But like if you're not feeling that great and it's been a couple months since you've had COVID or whatever, you're definitely not alone. Like this shit is whack. Like it's crazy.
Well, and I was telling you before I hit record, I won't say how I know this. I don't actually know this person. Someone peripherally in my life had COVID and was a huge sports fan before.
Yeah.
And coming out of COVID, cannot watch sports at all because it makes him too anxious.
That's insane.
Like a middle, like a 50s something man, black man, who cannot watch sports anymore.
It's like
What the fuck?
like what is that? Like altering brain chemistry shit. And like
Yeah.
I don't want to scare the shit out of anyone who has never had COVID yet, including you, Karen.
Ah.
Yeah, but like, and the thing is that like the majority of people don't have this stuff. Like, I have a friend who she got COVID when she was overseas and it was really bad for 48 hours. And that was it. Like, legit, she was totally fine after 49 hours. And great. Like, that's like super common. It's just, I don't know. It's just a weird thing. And yeah, I feel like, how do you get your mojo back? Like, how do you feel like alive again? And I love the idea that you go to live music to do that, and like that you're feeling so good doing that. That's so amazing. I mean, I think for me, it's like moving my body, like swimming in the morning, super, super great. Um, Resting a lot. Also, just like forgiving myself for not being on my A game. That's really hard for me.
Mm. I mean, it also makes me wonder if you should go just go get like there's a blood scan they do that just tests everything.
Really?
Your
Yeah.
iron, your D, your thyroid hormones, your follicle stimulating hormones. It's just like, I forget what it's called. Is it complete blood CBC, like a complete blood count, complete blood panel,
Yeah.
something? I just wondered, like, because you said it's in your body, it makes me wonder, like, you could just find out, or not just, but you could find out, like, oh, I'm low on B12, or
Totally.
like,
You're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, there is another, it's not just COVID. I will say that I have been eating like shit because what happened during COVID was I was like, I'm not feeling well. I can't see anyone I love. And so I'm just going to feed myself all the bad food that I possibly can. I mean, and not like just like, oh, of course I'll have some chips or I'll have a brownie here and there. No, like I was mainlining fudge. Like I was like, I mean, for real. And so it's like, I think I'm also coming off of that, like treating my body like shit for, a couple months. And so, but you're right. Like getting a blood panel is not a bad idea. Honestly, it's not. Like, it's like a really good idea. And you're right. If it's just like if there's a supplement, yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all.
well, and I also have been eating really badly. I have not had COVID, and I realized that I've just been just housing comfort food,
Mm,
and I don't. It's just I don't understand it. It's summer. Yes, we do this during the winter,
yes.
so we can hibernate like bears. But it's beautiful outside. What the fuck am I? What's going on? What am I comforting myself about? It's just the weirdest thing. I'm with you, and really quickly, I re-listened to, I forget what episode you said this where we were talking. Oh, it was our anniversary episode
Oh, yeah.
when we were talking about tuxedo chocolates, and you said the single Cheeto, and I laughed so hard about that.
Oh God. I still believe very strongly in that business model. Oh my god, 'cause it's a single of anything. One chip.
Yes. Oh
One
my God.
one crumb of the Doritos bag. Like that.
Like we used to call them bits. Like if you get Long John Silver's, they have like the
Yes.
fried, just like the batter, like balls of batter at the bottom. They just bring
Yes.
you one of those.
Just one little thing. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, everything affects everything. And I think that, like, I have to look at it from a holistic perspective of like feeling like, like it has to do with, yes, COVID, but also food. And also, yeah, I don't know. I also watched the Woodstock 99 three-part documentary on Netflix the other day.
Oh.
It just came out. Don't recommend it. It's really depressing. It's super, super anxiety inducing. Just I'll just save you the time. Woodstock 99 was an absolute disaster. Period. That's it. The end. But like Tyler and I were just addicted to it and we're like, "Oh my god, what's going to happen next?" And you know what's going to happen next. It was like a famous disaster. And it's like, but when you watch stuff that's like I was just going to say, when you watch a train wreck, the name of the Netflix documentary is called Trainwreck. Like it's like
No shit. Really?
yeah, really don't see it. Anyway, that didn't help either. So, I think maybe I need to focus on things that bring me joy and doing those things on the reg.
Well, and this whole idea of reconnecting to, I mean, for me, it's happened by accident.
Really?
I didn't think like, oh, I'm going to see live music because it's going to reawaken this dead part of my, this part of me that
Mm,
died during the last 2.5 years. It's just like, oh, right. I love this. The
yes.
other, this is a little embarrassing, I'm going to tell on myself, but the other thing that I've realized that I still love is bars.
Yeah, there you go. That's nothing wrong with bars.
Oh my God, Katie, I just sit there and I look around drinking my overpriced now $1,000 drink.
Of course.
And I just am like, I'm so happy right now. I love you, man. Right? Like,
Yes. Okay, this makes me think, you know how on the iPhone, like you can go back in your memories, like by year and month? Like maybe I need to like scroll back and say, like, what was I doing in 2018 and how happy do I look? Legitimately, I might find myself in a bar or with certain people that like I would be like, oh, you know what? Maybe I should text that person. I mean, sometimes it's hard to dig deep, but the iPhone's there for a reason, I guess.
Katie, that is a genius idea.
Oh my god, I think I need to do it. I really do. I mean, every once in a while, I subscribe to Shutterfly, their newsletters. Also, pro tip, don't do that. But like because you get constant newsletters, but I also get newsletters with the pictures from 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 9 years ago. And God, I look so fucking happy all the time. And it's like, who am I with? What am I doing? And not all of those things are hard to reach. It's not like I have to go overseas and go on a trip. It's like, no, it's just, I don't know. I'm just hanging out at a hiking trail or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love the idea that it could be people based. Like, oh, this
Yes.
person holds tremendous. We talked about the importance of your people or your community. Like we talk about community a lot on this podcast. And
We
I love the
do.
idea.
I also love like the idea of giving myself a break when it comes to, because one thing that often happens with me is I'm like, you know what I need to do to make myself happy? I need to paint. I need to get out my watercolors and I need to paint. And then I'm like, yeah, I get so happy when I paint. Okay, I got happy when I painted for like a 3 month stint in 2016. And so like I keep thinking that and I'm like, and so then I shame myself for not painting. And then that just is a horrible, situation. So I need to just fuck painting and like go do something else that has nothing to do with anything, like sit in a bar like you, like that sounds amazing, seriously, like, or like do something that sounds like fun and might be like not as productive as painting the next Van Gogh, which never was my intent, you know what I mean?
Well, and I love this example because I think we've also talked a lot about revisiting things that brought you joy in the past. And maybe those things will, and maybe they fucking won't. Like, what is 2022 Katie love now? And it doesn't have to be the same things.
Yes, that's so true. That's so true, and it might be like totally different and we can change. That's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think this conversation is just the tip of the iceberg. And I just feel like it's very helpful to think about like just what could actually make us just, and it's not that we have to be happy all the time. It's just, I don't know, to be like a little less meh when we don't want to
Right.
be.
Yes. And yeah, like you said, how do you get your mojo back?
Yeah. I mean, maybe watching like trashy movies that you loved when you were a kid, or like just a lot of Stephen Colbert on YouTube. Sometimes that just helps.
Or iron supplements.
Or iron supplements. I appreciate that. Yes. Maybe get some fucking B12, Katie. Yeah. Like I might.
Just
You're right. You're right. Maybe not be sedentary in front of your iPad. That's a fair point. Yeah, be around your people. And even if your people are not immediately around you, just call, text, all the things.
well, and don't eat potato chips and wine for dinner
Yeah, that's fair.
every night.
Or fudge for breakfast. In my case, chocolate peanut butter fudge. Seriously, Karen, I mean, Northern Michigan fudge. I got to be honest, it's totally amazing. And it spikes your blood sugar in such an enormous way that it's kind of a bummer. So when the crash happens, it's a bummer. When it spikes it, it's amazing. I just feel like I'm on a perpetual blood sugar crash. That's kind of what this feels like.
Oh,
Awesome. So fun. Okay. All right. Well, enough of that. I think I'm going to look back in my iPhone photos, and that'll be what I'm doing tonight.
great.
But yeah, it's really great to see you. And
Mhm.
I hope that everyone is feeling okay in however they're feeling, as always. We'll see you next week.